Is the Weigh-In Podcast by Benoit Chestnut and the occasional pop in Celestial Romero. On this Thanksgiving, we bring to you, well, one of our favorite weeks of all in wrestling. It is Cyclone versus or Hawk Cyclone week. What you all know what that means. And I think this year lines up the best Iowa versus Iowa State Doomy. Because boy, every last one of the wrestlers up and down both lineups are ranked. So we're going to get into it and our prediction on how this might go as a dual meet. So that's going to be good. So let's get into this one. That is this week's weigh-in. So we jump right into this one. We're going to jump right into this one. It is Iowa State. And if you don't know the history between that, a quick Google search I'll take care of that. But this is a ruling dual meet that you get, Iowa State. So when we talk about this Iowa State, we're going to start off at 125. And it's looking good. We got Dean Peterson versus Steve Poulin. Steve-O. I mean, not Steve. Steve-O. Steve-O Poulin. Now, I think, had Dean not beat Troy Spratley, I probably would have said, hey, Steve-O Poulin all day. But unfortunately, Dean Peterson beat a good Troy Spratley. So I got to give Dean credit here. I think Dean's going to get that 125. I really do. I really got to give Dean credit there. Because, he took care of business against Troy Spratley. As much as I hate to see it, he took care of business. Now, it's going to be a good one. I think there's not going to be not one match that isn't good on this dual meet, this card, because you got Dean Peterson, the number 6. Steve-O Poulin is the number 9. You got Drake Ayala, the number 4. You got Evan Frost, the number 7. You got Nazir Bailey, the number 11. You got Anthony Echton-Mendia, the number 6. You got Ryder Block, the number 12. You got number 2, Pomerano Johnson. And 157, you got the number 11, Jordan Williams, and the number 2, Vinny Zerburn. We talk about this. It's crazy. We at 165, we got number 3, Mikey Caliendo versus the number 22, Connor Eden. We talk about 174, we got the number 2, Patrick Kennedy versus the number 15, MJ Gayton. And at 184, you got the number 1, Angelo Ferrari versus the number 9, Isaac Dean. And at 197, you got the number 4, Masoma Endine against the number 2, Rocky Elam. And at 285, you got Ben Cuter, the number 6, Ben Cuter, against the number 3, Younger Bestenadai. But we'll say Younger. So this is what I'm saying. Like, you got a good, the good pickup wins for the Hawks is going to be 184. For sure, I believe it's going to be 184, 187. But just a little there. So when we talk about this dual meet, we talk about this going to be good. This right here is going to be what everyone. If you're not watching it, you should. You should be. This is a good. This gonna be real good. I know I keep saying it. This gonna be good. And you know what? I think they're gonna, it's looking like they're gonna put this duel on ESPN, and that's not. There's no better duel to see on ESPN than Iowa State. I think many would agree with me with that one. I think so. I think in terms of it, it's gonna look good. It's gonna look good. And I say why it's going to look good is because when you look at this duel, when you talk about this, when we talk about it, we know why we have a decision. So you get to what you get to. So let's really, you know, like I said, that 125, I got Dean. You know, I'm thinking, but I'm not thinking I got Dean huge. I thinking I got like a 6-5 decision Dean. I'm thinking I got something real close. Real close. Real close. At 133, I know we're gonna jump into 33. That's number 4, Drake Ayala, and the number 7, Evan Frost. I'm sorry, but I got Evan Frost 8-7 decision. Across the board, I got Evan Frost winning because Evan Frost is very scrappy. You're a real scrappy guy, and from what I've seen from Drake Ayala, I just have not. I'm just not impressed enough to say, hey, I think he's going to be Evan Frost. I don't think so. So there's that's really good. When we talk about Nazir Bailey over Etchmandia, I don't think Nazir Bailey's gonna win that. I think I've got a 7-6 Anthony Etchmandia. I'm talking that this is gonna be a close duel meet. It's gonna be real close duel meet. I'll give, when we talk about this, I'll give Ryder Block at 149 some credit. I think that's gonna go to Iowa there. I think that's gonna go to Iowa. I really do. I think that might be the very well good case. When we talk about this 157, we break down 157. You know, I think I got to tell you is again. I think that's gonna go to Iowa State. You look at the way Iowa State can lead out this duel. Think about it. You come out 125, you get 3. You come out 133, you snack another one. That right there, we're talking 6-0 duel meet. And if Anthony Etchmandia can go ahead and take care of business against Nazir Bailey, now we're talking a 9-0 duel meet. Like now we're up there. I know many may not agree with me on this, but those first couple matches can set the tone very well. Because when you get to 149, I definitely think Ryder Block's going to beat Palmerano Johnson. I definitely do because Ryder's very scrappy. He's good. I think he's really good, but I'm going to give Johnson some credit. He's ranked up there. He may surprise us. But if you could do that, so you talk about if we could start the dual meet off with with getting 3 at 125, 3 at 133, 3 at 141, and another 3 at 149. We're talking a 12-0 dual meet right there. And then if we follow it up, because we know Vinny Zerban is the number 2, so it's possible. I know I talked about this on the pod before that do not rankings don't matter, but we're going off of the likelihood here that he's the number 2. So now we're talking if they could sweep the first 5. The first 5, we're talking a 15-0 to, and I didn't say no major decision anywhere. I'm saying just decision, normal decision. And you talk about that, but when we get to 165, okay, now here's where we talk about it. Here's where we say, okay, here comes Iowa, because now it's gonna be a good last 5 of Iowa, and I say that for a reason. You got Mikey Caliendo, so Mikey Caliendo. Let's say Mikey Caliendo gets a decision. You get Patrick Kenny. Patrick Kenny gets a decision. You say Angelo Ferrari gets a decision. Masam and Dean is going to be a good matchup. That 197 is going to be the best matchup to see. Mosama and Dean against Rocky Elam. Let's, if he learns from AJ Ferrari, like Angelo, I mean, not AJ, but Angelo Ferrari. He learns from Angelo Ferrari, if he learns from Angelo Ferrari, when Angelo Ferrari wrestled Dustin Plott, Mosama and Dean is going to take out Rocky Elam. But this is what we're talking about. Hawkeyes get the last. I mean, if Iowa gets the last 5, all decisions. What's going to make the difference in this dual meet is the major decisions, because it's going to line up very evenly. So I'm saying where the majors may come for Iowa, Mikey Caliendo and Patrick Kennedy may get it. They may get it really well. Now, Rocky Elam and at 97 is not, the best thing that's going to happen, I say, is Anthony Etchmandia may be able to scrape a major out of that. But it's not. Nazir Bailey looked good. So you talk about what's going to make the difference is the major. So you look at right now, the 2 toughest wrestlers for Iowa State are going to have to be, and that's it's going to have to be Connor and MJ, because Connor and MJ, are the furthest ranked, which I'm not saying they can't, but you can't go down by major. You can't go down by major, because if you don't go down by major, Iowa State can have this dual meet. If you really look at it, they got a lot of guys. Well, I mean, they got about 3 guys ranked number 2, and they've got about and they got 8 guys ranked in the top 10. So that's now something crazy. They realistically they only have 2 that are not ranked in the top 10, and that's Connor and MJ. And that's why I say, hey, they're going to have to really wrestle. You talk about Rocky Elam, Mosama and Dean proved himself. He proved himself. The question here is, if Mosama and Dean gets out there and does not be able to prove himself against this matchup, that's okay. Now, do I think it'll go how it went their match against Pitt? Oh no. They beat Pitt 36-0, Iowa. The Hawks are not going to win like this. The Hawks, for both sides to say, if they win, it's going to be a really good old fashioned, like a Penn State, Ohio State duel meet. It's not going to be a runaway. It's not going to be a runaway. Evan Frost is not going to give up. I'm saying Dean's going to win, but Evan Frost is not going to give up a major to Dean Peterson, unless Dean gets slick again and locks up another cradle, because Dean Peterson's a big move guy. And we talked about this, some of the ways we think these matchups are going to go. And I told you how my first couple scores I think is going to go. I'm telling you right now, I have this as a really, really, really close dual meet. So with everything being said and the 2 majors, I got it like, I think we're going to get like an 18-16 or like a 17-15 dual meet here. It's going to come down to the last couple matches, and 197 and 285 are not really going to help the Iowa Hawkeyes. I'll give them credit. They're going to get 184. Angelo Ferrari, we know he can wrestle. Dustin Plott got beat, and I sure think Isaac Dean's going to get beat too, because Angelo Ferrari can wrestle. When you talk about Angelo can wrestle. So, I definitely think Michael Caliendo and Patrick Kennedy are going to be the 2 where, okay, you might have opponents that you may be able to get some bonus on. Rack it up. It's going to make a difference. We're going to need, if you're Iowa, you're going to need those majors at 165, 174. Because I don't nor see them getting it anywhere else. So, I don't really see them getting it. I don't really see Dean Peterson getting a major over Steve-O. I don't see Mosama and Dean getting it over Rocky Elam. I just don't. I don't see Ben Cuter getting it either. Now I'll give you credit. Angelo, he can turn him. He can turn him, and I could see that. But then again, it's tight. I don't, I don't really think it's gonna happen. And I get Drake Ayala's turned a couple guys this year, turned a lot of guys. I don't think you're gonna turn Evan Frost like that. Not enough to get a major. I don't really see a major coming that way. So it's gonna be a tough dual meet. And you know what? That is exactly why they did it the way they did it. On ESPN too. That tells us, hey, they're starting to notice wrestling, because you know what? A couple years ago, we had a dual meet that was featured ESPN, real good. And now that we're seeing a couple of more and more dual meets, it's good. There's no better dual meet you could have put on ESPN, even if they turn around and say it's on ESPN2 or whatever the case may be. There's no better dual meet you could have put on ESPN here. And I say that because it is. So let me get you the truth here, and let's check that ESPN schedule, and we're gonna see what and we're gonna see what that schedule looks like. We're gonna see what that schedule look like for Friday. I mean for Sunday. That dual meet will be on Sunday. Oh yeah, Iowa State. It's right on the main channel, ESPN. Now that's what we're looking for. That's gonna be good. Right on the main channel, ESPN. They say, well, according to their schedule, 1 p.m. start. Woo! So if that's what you're not doing, go ahead, get out, watch this podcast early, and get ready for Iowa State on Sunday on ESPN. And I think that's great for wrestling. We're getting some good stuff going. Now, here's what I want to see, man. And I know you're gonna be like, oh, come on, no. Oh, come on. We need to get Iowa State, ESPN, and if Iowa State, you know what? Let's find out, right? Let's find out before we roll that. I'm gonna find out. I'm pretty sure they don't, but I'm gonna find out. And I know you are like, well, what are you talking about? Give me a second, and I will tell you. I'm fact checking myself before I go out there and. So let's see. And I got an answer for you. No. So what I was looking up is if Iowa State had a women's wrestling team, and they don't, and I think you know where I'm getting at. You lead off with women's wrestling. So you do Iowa State and women's wrestling. Nice dual meet. That'd be nice. That'll probably be a club. I mean, if they had a when they get a women's wrestling team, because you hope they join the party. When they get a women's wrestling team, doubling up the dual meet be real nice. You get an 18-16 women's, or you get a close women's dual meet, and then you get an 18-16 men's. That's what we call two for the price of one. I'm just saying, but that's up next. So it's going to be good. They couldn't have picked a better dual meet to put on ESPN than Iowa State. They couldn't have picked a better dual meet. They couldn't have, and we got to see a lot of our wrestling on, on ESPN. The Paycom National Duels got to make some. I believe that was on ESPN. I think, or it might have been Big Ten Network, but either way, the Paycom National Duels got some spotlight. This is looking really good. If you're a wrestling fan, we're getting the stuff we never thought we were going to get now. So It's looking real interesting. But it's looking real interesting. But nonetheless, like I said, with this dual meet, I got I got a lot going through with this dual meet, and I think Iowa State could take the first five. I really do. I think they could take the first five, but the difference here is they're gonna need bonus. They're gonna need bonus because the last five wrestlers for Iowa, they're gonna get bonus. When we talk about Patrick Kennedy and Mikey Caliendo, they're gonna get bonus. Those are gonna be major decisions, and you're gonna put yourself behind. And even Angelo Fry, I bet you that's probably gonna that might very well be a major decision too, because Angelo can wrestle. He can wrestle, but if 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 Vinny and Connor can come out and in some fashion maybe win by a decision or only lose by a decision, either way, that's a good thing. But we're still gonna need bonus is gonna make the difference for this match. I'm telling you, bonus points are gonna make the difference. And that 157 and 165 is gonna be a match. I mean, oh no. No, that's on me. That 165, 174, I meant Connor and MJ. So I take back what I just said about Vinny and Connor. Well, Vinny, I believe, is going to win at 157. I'm talking about Connor and MJ at 165 Connor and 174 MJ. When we talk about that, 165, 174 are going to be match swinging. Like that is going to change the momentum depending on how, because if Iowa State could set the toe with the first five, they think okay. You got Steve O'Poulin, you got Evan Frost, Anthony Etchemandia. Listen, I'd pick Steve O. I'd pick I'd pick those guys all day. All day. All day. All day. I'd pick them all day. That's like something I'd pick them all day. I keep picking and picking and picking and picking and picking all day. Those are great. Those are great three guys to have. Now, it's not different than having a Dean Peterson, Drake Ayala, and a Nazir Bailey. You know, that's a good start in three. But the difference is that other side is a good start in three too. And I think I think the best match of the night is gonna be 197 with Rocky Elam and Mosama and Dean. And I think the second best is gonna be that 133, that Drake Ayala, Evan Frost. That's gonna come out. And if not, really, if you ask me, I think you might go. The first best match of the night is going to be 197, Osama and Dean, Rocky Elam. Second best would be Dean Peterson, Steve O'Poulin. And then you're going to put Drake Ayala and Evan Frost at three. I think those are going to be the really good matches. I think if I was them, I I I really couldn't tell you where to start the dual meet. I would say start the dual meet at 141 with Nazir Bailey and Anthony Etchemandia. Start it right there so we get the best. We kind of get the best for that. We don't, but even then, the best match of the night will be 197 with Mosama and Dean and Rocky Elam. If they start at 125, we're still going to get that one at the end. So even then, that's still going to be really good. So you get the best match of the night, which may very well be Dean Peterson, Steve O'Poulin, and then you're going to get Drake Ayala and Evan Frost. And then you get to end the night on Mosama and Dean and Rocky Elam. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be. You couldn't have picked a better dual meet for ESPN right now. You couldn't have. This Iowa State team looks good. That's a good Iowa State team. You couldn't have picked a better dual meet for ESPN. Because if Iowa State comes out and beats them, I wouldn't be surprised. I really wouldn't be surprised if we get an Iowa State victory here. I'm not gonna be surprised on that because of how good that Iowa State team looks. That Iowa State team looks very good. And when you look at that team, you can't you you really can't see it any differently. This duel me not being close. You really can. And in terms of me, I can't see it any other day. I mean, I can't see it any other way without it being. I really can't. I really can't see it any other way, and that's gonna be the crazy part. And this it's gonna be great. I'm glad that that's the duel meet they picked for this. You couldn't have picked a better duel meet. You couldn't have picked anything better to go and be the dual meet of the year. This is, I mean, there are a few weeks out of the year where, depending on what type of fan you are, they'll say it's really good, but this is kind of this is the best week of the year. Next to Midlands and NCAA's, this is a good week. I mean, well, now next to Paycom National Duels because National Duels was pretty good. Um, so it's really good. So that's gonna be interesting. Interesting. Because it's no matter how you draw out this dual meet, it's gonna look good. It's gonna look good. I think it's gonna be a really good dual meet, no matter how you draw it out. This dual meet is gonna be it. It could go either way. Iowa could win it or Iowa State could win it. I really do see it going either way. But like I said, like I've already told you, that the problem if you're Iowa State is that 165, 174. You're gonna really need to hope you don't go down by majors over there because anybody in it, you go down by a major, it's gonna put the match out of reach. It's gonna mean that Rocky Elam's not gonna be able to go down to Mosama Endine, and Mosama Endine has looked really good this year, and to turn around and say, well, Rocky Elam, got beat. It's not with how good Mosama and Dean has looked. I wouldn't want to put the Doomy in the hands of Mosama and Dean Rocky Elam. I'm telling you that because that's a tough way to go. It's a real tough way to go because that's a tough Doomy to that's a tough act to follow up right there. That's a tough act to follow up to do is to have that. That's real tough. It's a real tough one. It's gonna be real tough. It's gonna be real tough. No matter how we draw it out, it's gonna be tough. It's gonna look tough as a dual me. It's gonna be tough as a dual me. It's gonna live up to the hype. It is this year when it looks that good, especially the way the transfer portal went, and it's just gonna look good. So with that being said, this yet another epi of the weigh-in. I mean, yet another epi of the weigh-in and takedown Thursday. We keeping this streak going. Um, we're a little over a month away from completing the goal. Uh, we've got the question that once the goal is completed, Am I taking time off? No, we are not. We're continuing. We're rolling on. We're rolling on the best way we can. We're rolling on with all this stuff. So there won't be no break. It'll be episode after episode after episode. So that's a great part. We're gonna continue going, but nonetheless, like, comment, subscribe. Currently, so we could all know where we're at with the goal. We're at 1,672 views in 2025 on the channel. So it is very well maybe possible, the way this is looking, that we might be able to squeeze out our goal of 2K by the end of the year, but we'll see. We're gonna keep trying. But this is the weigh-in by Benoit Chestnut and the Pop-In Sebastian Romero. And this is yet another epi for y'all. Please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Weigh-in out.
The weigh-in restores